Hello and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. In this video, we will talk about something that is quite horrifying. The new International Monetary Fund IMF unit, used by many people in the society right now. The IMF is making use of this cutting-edge method of international money transfer. In this video, we'll talk about whether or not the IMF is trying to make Ripple and XRP irrelevant in the future financial system. Many individuals are concerned that the IMF is actively trying to displace Ripple. In this video, we'll discuss this topic in further detail. If I come to that conclusion, or if I think everyone is misreading the issue, I will let you know. I also want to talk about the significant pushback you're getting from the SEC, Congress, and the SEC itself because of her. There are two important announcements that need to be made. Just lately, something happened that would show the SEC is up against considerably more opposition than most people realized. Before we begin the video, I just wanted to point this out because it is so awesome. Token holders who are wrapping and delegating their flares today receive the second of what will be monthly airdrops. It never ceases to amaze me how big these airdrops are. Even more so, this was only the second ever. You should wrap your flare tokens if you are not getting these airdrops. To further understand the network, I recommend watching a video. If you are unfamiliar with the concept of flare tokens or if you do not have any. In addition, I have included a link to each of them in the video's description. Wrapping my tokens, collecting my goodies, and rewrapping them while keeping my flare up is a nice place to acquire flare tokens. This way, I can maximize my flare output during the early phases of the flare drop. As a result, my benefits will increase each year. I thought I'd let you guys in on my little secret. In case you need further information about any of these things, there are links to them all below. I go there to get my flare. Anyway, enough with that. Let's get back to the film now. Congratulations. You must be pleased with your new position as flare operator if you were offered it today. To kick off this video, I think I should talk briefly about the current backlash against the SEC. Only XRP investors and other cryptocurrency ventures who have been sued have any reason to complain. However, many commentators present the SEC as though it were performing admirably. We're going to look into it. Hester, the commissioner and SEC commissioner's personal funds are responsible for this. Neither John D. nor any member of the community has ever said this. A member of the SEC makes this claim. Companies looking to break new ground in our market are encouraged to stop by and register with the Commission as of today. The Commission dismisses the possibility of making helpful adjustments to our regulatory structure to aid business owners who discover they are unable to register and instead rewards their goodwill with an enforcement action. The current Commission sees the regulation process of notice and comment more as a threat than a conversation. So, this isn't a wild guess. This is not the XRP community publicly lamenting the SEC's treatment of them. What we have said for the previous 2 years has been confirmed by an SEC insider. Since Bitcoin businesses can't register with the SEC in person, they can't lawfully operate in the United States. You can register, and you will also be sued, if you follow Gary Gensler's directions and walk in to meet with him. The SEC wants you to come in and register, and then stick around and have a conversation with them. Indeed, they do react. Oh, I'm glad to know that. This will help us in court should we sue you. This is actually happening right now. Now, for years, folks like John D. and Jeremy Hogan have been saying this, but most people just disregarded them. Well, it isn't always the case. The vast majority of respondents agreed that a token should be registered. No one has ever completed registration and then completed a project effectively. And now the SEC has come out and said that is, in fact, the case. No more conjecture will be made as to the reasons these cryptocurrency businesses have been unable to register. Professor Gary Gensler's statement. Come on in, and we'll figure something out. We can stop questioning whether or not he's telling the truth. A member of the SEC named Hester Pace tells us straight out that it's quite improbable that we'll sue you if you come in and talk to us. Simply put, this shows where cryptocurrencies stand in the United States right now. The SEC warns that being a morally upstanding business could be problematic at any time. No matter how law-abidingly you behave, you too are breaking the law. Absolutely nothing will alter. It doesn't matter if you're looking out for your customers or trying to be as honest as possible. Gary Gensler claims that it is challenging to register a cryptocurrency business in the United States and that such a business can never be in conformity with our securities standards. Now, if you've been listening to what I've just mentioned and thought, wow, that is completely absurd, I cannot believe that's happening, then I apologize. I have to tell you that I totally agree with you. I can't believe this is the current state of affairs in the United States. Cryptocurrencies and their supporters are fighting back against the SEC. And Warren Davidson is one of them. To get rid of Gary Gensler and the role of Chief Commissioner, he has presented new legislation. Given that every single SEC commissioner has used their position for personal gain, I think this is a fantastic idea. Now, as to whether or not I think this law will be effective, I'm sorry to say that I'm a little skeptical about it. If we could do away with dairy completely, it would be fantastic. And I think a lot of Democrats would support it as well. I'm not sure if the House of Representatives or the Senate is required for this to become law. What happens next will be something we have to keep an eye on. However, it is heartening to learn that others share same struggle. The other FCC commissioners have come out and said we're acting ridiculously, and now politicians are saying they are going to try to get rid of him because of how awful he's been behaving. The cryptocurrency community, regardless of political affiliation, must ensure that its votes go to candidates who will advocate for the industry, rather than Gary Gensler, Elizabeth Warren, or the right-wing senior citizens who are too ignorant to understand what's happening. We need a new generation that is comfortable with technology and open to this change. Let's update our monetary system and stop protecting the powerful. But first, I want to explain why I'm moving. The International Monetary Fund's brand new Universal Monetary Unit. The primary goal here is to provide a standard means of exchanging currency between different countries. Many are worried that it will eventually replace XRP. Even more so, Ripple will soon be obsolete. Let me show you why it isn't true. Check out this discussion board, Lord of Vendetta. Let me just say that this is nothing short of amazing. I won't bore you with every detail right now. Even if I did, I don't think it'd be right or fair to him. In any case, if you're interested in reading this, you should follow him on Twitter. Lord Vaisakhi is his title of honor. I really like this thread. I'll solely focus on the details I think are most important and highlight those for you. Let's start with the obvious. He's totally right in this situation. When a new cryptocurrency, stablecoin, or CBDC is created, there is always widespread panic and predictions that it will eventually replace XRP. Oh, it will replace Ripple, and every time it tries to, it fails. The banking industry stands on the cusp of a revolution thanks to XRP and Ripple. To be totally forthright, out of every cryptocurrency initiative I've seen, I see the least amount of competition for Ripple and XRP. In my opinion, Ethereum's strongest competition will come from other technology initiatives that aim to disrupt financial transactions and the underlying infrastructure of our monetary system by targeting the smart contract layer. There aren't really any alternatives to consider. In addition, XRP and Ripple have a huge head start. I'd want to tell you what I consider to be the most important information. The first glaring one is Ripple's existing partnerships with the IMF and BIS. Ripple is not in the same league as these companies. In addition to Christine Lagarde and the other central bankers, Brad Garlinghouse is a regular attendee of meetings. Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse can communicate with these people because they are integral to the scheme. Understand first that the International Monetary Fund and the Bank for International Settlements are not actively working to destroy Ripple. They are working together since it is obvious that Ripple is part of the group that wants to completely transform the banking system in the United States. If Ripple were a serious threat, they wouldn't be invited to these meetings, yet they are. Ripple attends these conferences often. I can't stress this enough. One of the people in charge, Christine Lagarde, was specifically mentioned by name during one of her talks. No one else on the planet is having that change at the same time. It's true that Ripple is in a special situation, but that's not what's most important. The most important part, in my opinion, is the basics of how this would work. Value is everything that MMU is. Money is a medium of exchange. It looks like a CBD capsule. This sounds like an NFT. there's a token quality to it. Simply said, it's a unit of accounting. For all intents and purposes, the XRP ledger can be utilized to perform the calculation, and it can even interact with XRP. There is simply no evidence to suggest that this may function as a substitute ledger. In my opinion, this shows that we need to upgrade a lot of our systems before we can fully implement the new financial system. And there's an explanation for why XRP and Ripple constantly bringing up this specific subset of the population. They wouldn't be doing it if competition was fierce. However, in light of recent events, it is undeniable that Ripple is a part of the plan to launch such products. To further simplify things, keep in mind that the government initiated numerous online initiatives, including websites, during the early stages of the Internet's development and is widely credited as the inventor of the World Wide Web. The private sector, however, remained a major factor. Companies like Google and Amazon continue to exist, along with a myriad of others that pioneered innovative approaches to doing business. You should realize that the IMF is not working on a payment system or a distributed ledger. A centralized accounting system exists and will be used eventually, although not at present. And it works differently than Ripple does. In my perspective, the most important takeaway is that the next 10 to 15 years will see a plethora of game-changing developments. Ripple, on the other hand, has a substantial edge as a result of the originality and excellence of their efforts. There is no danger of them taking business away from Ripple. Included in this scheme is Ripple, whose XRP token will likely find a place in the future monetary order. Time will tell, in my opinion. Anyway, I greatly value your being here today, gentlemen. I trust you enjoyed this bit of news. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.